All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're talking Rwanda.
Oh, yeah.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Rwanda's really making a name for itself in international education, and we're going to unpack why that is.
He's pretty amazing.
We've got this great article from the New Times.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about some new guidelines that Rwanda's putting in place for international students.
Okay.
But the real story here goes way beyond just some bureaucratic stuff, you know?
Right.
This is about a whole shift, a whole movement. It's like Rwanda's decided to really roll out the red carpet for students from all over the globe. So what's the deal? Why are they doing this? And what does it mean for the future of higher education?
That's a really good question.
That's what we're here to figure out.
Yeah.
So this article talks about these dedicated offices that are popping up like at every single Rwandan university, and they're specifically for international students, which on the surface sounds pretty practical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. You know, if you're a student coming from who knows where, landing in a new country, having a dedicated office where you can go and get your questions answered, I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, it's like a one-stop shop.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think it goes deeper than that.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think this is Rwanda sending a very clear message to the world that they're serious about attracting international students.
It's a statement.
It's a statement. It's like, hey, we value you. We're here to support you. We want to make this transition as easy as possible.
Right.
And you have to remember the context here. The competition for international students is fierce.
Global market.
It is a global market. Universities all over the world are fighting tooth and nail to attract the best and brightest.
Right.
So Rwanda's doing something really smart. They're differentiating themselves.
They're standing out.
They're standing out by saying, you know what, we're not just going to offer you a good education. We're going to offer you an amazing experience for the moment you step off the plane.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that caught my eye in this article was the mention of financial stability checks.
Okay.
And that's not something you typically see, right?
No.
I mean, usually universities are just like, hey, give us your money, come on in.
Right, yeah.
So what's going on here? Why is Rwanda doing this?
So I think there are a couple of reasons. First off, it protects the universities themselves. It makes sure that students who are enrolling are actually able to pay their tuition and, you know, their living expenses. It helps prevent dropouts. It helps prevent financial instability for the institution.
Easiest guard.
It is. But I think the more interesting reason is that it actually protects the students as well.
That's a good point.
It's making sure that students aren't taking on more debt than they can handle. It's making sure that they're not coming to Rwanda and ending up in a really tough spot financially, you know, far from home with no support system. So it's really a win-win.
It's thinking ahead.
It's thinking ahead. It's being proactive.
I like it.
Yeah.
Now, the article also talks about Rwanda's goal to be this, like, super welcoming and supportive environment for students from all sorts of backgrounds.
Yeah.
And that's something we hear a lot.
Mm.
You know, every country says they want to be diverse and inclusive.
Oh, yeah.
So is Rwanda actually walking the walk, or is this just like good PR?
Well, I think the numbers speak for themselves. You know,
Yeah.
back in 2017, Rwanda had about 1,400 international students. This year, that number's jumped to over 9,000.
That's huge.
It's huge, and I think it's a direct result of the efforts that Rwanda's making. They're investing in infrastructure, they're creating these dedicated support systems, and they're fostering a genuine culture of welcome.
It's holistic.
It is, and you can actually see it playing out in real stories. You know, like the 126 international students who graduated from the University of Rwanda just this past October. These are people from all over the world who chose Rwanda, and they're succeeding there.
It's proof.
It's proof.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It is.
So beyond all this practical stuff, the article also highlights some of the less tangible things that make Rwanda appealing. Things like the sense of safety,
Right.
the good leadership, the general openness of the society. How much do those things actually matter when a student is choosing where to study?
I think they matter a lot, actually. You know, for many international students, especially those traveling really far from home, the socio-political environment is a huge factor in their decision-making.
It makes sense.
They're not just looking for a good academic program. They're looking for a place where they feel safe, where they feel welcome, where they feel like they can thrive. And Rwanda offers that.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to go to a place where you don't feel safe to
Exactly.
get an education.
It's about the whole package. It's about the quality of life. It's about the feeling of belonging. And Rwanda gets that.
And maybe that's the key. Maybe it's not just about having the most prestigious universities.
Right.
It's about creating an environment that attracts students on multiple levels.
Exactly. It's about the whole experience. It's about saying, hey, come to Rwanda, get a great education, but also experience our culture, our people, our way of life. It's a much more holistic approach.
I love it.
It's smart.
And I think it's working.
I think so too.
So this raises a really interesting question for me. What does Rwanda's success tell us about the future of international education as a whole?
That's a big one.
It is a big one.
But I think it's a really important one to consider. Are other countries taking note? Are we going to see a shift where factors like safety and well-being and, the overall societal vibe become just as important, if not more important than rankings and prestige?
Right, because traditionally that's what it's all about. It's like, where does this university rank?
Exactly. But I think Rwanda is challenging that paradigm. They're saying, hey, there's more to the equation. And I think students are responding. They're voting with their feet. They're choosing Rwanda because it offers them something different, something more.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really exciting trend to watch.
It's super interesting. So as Rwanda continues on this path, as they keep attracting more and more international students, what kind of ripple effects might we see? I mean, could this reshape the global landscape of higher education?
Well, it's hard to say for sure, but I think it has the potential to be really transformative. If other countries start to follow Rwanda's lead, if they start to prioritize the student experience, if they start to create these welcoming and supportive environments, I think we could see a real shift in the way international education is viewed and approached.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
It's definitely something to think about.
It is. It's a big question, but it's an exciting one.
And that's what we're here for, to ask the big questions.
Right.
To dive deep.
To dive deep.
So for all of you listening out there, what are your thoughts? Is Rwanda onto something? Is this the future of international education? Let us know. We want to hear from you. And until next time, keep exploring.
Keep diving deep.
All right, everybody, take care.
Bye.
See ya.